Here's how this works. You ask, and we do our best to get you the answers. It's the goal of our Ask the Expert segment here on Minnesota Live.
So today we're going to talk with our friend Matt Lindberg from Village Animal Hospital in Minnetonka.
We are answering some questions from the viewers, and then we'll talk about some holiday need-to-knows this morning.
Dr. Matt, how are you?
Great.
Good to see you.
Yep, thanks for having me back.
You ready for these questions? Here we go.
I sure am.
All right, so we're starting with our first question from Jane. Jane asked, how do you care for an aging dog whose hearing is going and eyes are cloudy?
Yeah, it's a great question. I have a 13-year-old dog, so I understand this question completely. So I have a little old, white, crusty dog who's got bad eyes and bad hearing. So he's cute, but yeah, he gets older. So a couple things to keep in mind. One is always checking with your veterinarian to make sure, is this a true age-related change or is there health issues going on? Because gray eyes can happen with age, something called ventricular sclerosis. So think people, as we get older, maybe have to use cheaters to read restaurant menus or things like that. Dogs can have that same age-related change that ends up going on, versus something like true cataract, which is a medical condition that might need more attention going on. Hearing loss, which happens with the best of us with age as well, versus could there be infection going on? There could be a mass in the ear canal. So being checked out by a veterinarian to know, is this just truly age-related versus not as super important?
On the eye thing, does it necessarily mean that they are losing their vision if they've got the graying eyes? It does? Okay.
It does. So ways to help. So if your dog's having a hard time navigating stairs, turn the lights on, you know? If your dog's having a hard time sometimes with jumping, could that be that their depth perception is off? So some of these older dogs where they're not seeing as well, they can be farsighted like us. So I don't read as well when it's up close, but I can see things very far. So your dog might see a squirrel across the yard, but has a hard time seeing something really close up. So, you know, lighting, helping them when they have to get up on the bed or that sort of thing with stairs. Sometimes it's arthritic conditions. Sometimes their eyes aren't as good as they used to be.
Is there surgery for that?
Cataract surgery, yes. So there are great veterinary ophthalmologists in the area. So if your dog has true cataracts, you can help them out from that standpoint of things. I think something to keep in mind is that with older dogs, you know, when they lay there and their hearing's great, they can kind of take in all that's going on with them. But when their hearing starts to go, when their eyesight starts to go, these dogs get really nervous. They get anxious. They're startled. So you get a lot of these older dogs that become very dependent on us. They follow us around. If you leave the room, they kind of come after you because they can't just kind of take everything in. So they become anxious. They have more behavior changes that go on. You piggyback that on with older dogs that can have some cognitive issues that happen. So they can have senility problems just like older people do. And you can't pick up on that because you're not having a conversation with them where they're asking the same question over and over again. Exactly. So you have to kind of interpret some of that too. So again, conversations to have with your veterinarian of, you know, are these things normal aging or is there something more that we can do to kind of help these pets out?
All right, our next question comes from Jeannie. Jeannie says, our dogs have been spoiled with cooked food instead of kibble for 4 years. Is there a way to get them back to traditional dog food?
There is, and I think anytime we're going to do a dietary change, it's important to do it slowly. So getting them on a traditional kibble, a great idea. So people want to spoil their dogs with cooked foods and that sort of thing. And the problem is that we might not be giving them all the micronutrients and nutrition they need if we're just doing a home-cooked food. And this is whether or not you're going to switch from one brand of food, if you're going to switch from one protein source to another, you need to do it slowly. So you need to do this transition over, say, a 7 to 10 day time period. And your dog may put up a little resistance to you, and it's important for us to know that we have to be the adult in the room and kind of know, yes, if they're giving you those puppy eyes and they're saying, I don't want to do it, you just have to kind of be persistent with it. One of those tricks to do is to put the food down, and if they're not going to eat it right away, pick it up. And then maybe half an hour later, put it back down again. If they're not going to eat it, pick it up again. They're smart enough to know they're going to eat eventually. So don't be the one that gives in
Like you do with your kids with the vegetables.
Exactly.
As I recall when they were little.
It is a lot of having
try that
pets
again.
is just like parenting kids. It's kind of being consistent, and that's the part is not giving in. So, you know, and giving things like human foods, like say having them lick the peanut butter or other stuff like that. You don't want to start those bad habits early on. So, and if you do kind of have these sort of habits that we're in, trying to break it of it. So, you know, if there's certain routines that we do that we know are bad habits, that we're giving them human foods at certain points in time, have a little Glad container of just regular dog kibble that's sitting there. If there's a time that usually know when I'm doing the dishes, they lick the ice cream bowl. Instead of doing that, give them just a couple kibbles of their regular food at that point in time. They're still having the reward piece of things. You still want to have that interaction that's fun with them, but now they're getting their regular food, not human food in those interactions. So they still have the fun. You still have the reward interaction piece of things, but they're getting something better for them.
All right. And I'm going to preface the next question with, I already did a DNA test with my dog. We thought she was full Yorkie. Turns out she's 51% Chihuahua and 49% Yorkie. So we did that. Is that something you'd recommend, or is it not really sciencey yet?
I would say the science of it is not quite as hardcore as we wish it was. So from a curiosity standpoint, great. You know, if you kind of have a mixed breed dog and you want to know what's in there, but always take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So the science isn't fantastic, and you can go online and see about all these, news organizations that they swab their dog, that they know it's purebred, and it comes back with a whole bunch of stuff, and they'll swab their own cheek and come back that apparently they're partly Great Dane, and so it's not as hardcore as it's supposed to be. And also remember that when we talk about breeds, if you have a Labradoodle, that's not a breed. That's a combination of a couple different breeds.
Yeah.
So, and if you're going to make medical decisions on it, we don't do that either. So, if you come back and you have 5% of a certain breed and you're like, oh, that breed's predisposed to having certain medical conditions, yeah, but it's mixed with a whole bunch of stuff that's in there, so we don't worry about some of the purebred things when you're looking at sort of these DNA tests that are done out there. So curiosity, if you want to know what's in there.
Want to know for entertainment value?
Exactly.
Sure,
That's
great.
the best way to end up doing it.
Okay.
So,
Makes sense.
And collecting samples, cheek swab probably the easiest to end up doing from a home standpoint of things. Most dogs are going to tolerate that really well. There are some that require a blood test. Your veterinarian can help you out from that standpoint. There will be a cost to do it. Sometimes those can be a little bit more specific and more costly, but cheek is a simple thing to do.
Holiday time, what are things we should be avoiding, try to keep away from the pets?
Yeah, so the simple things that we all know, chocolate. Everybody knows that chocolate for dogs is not great. Grapes, alcohol, those are all things that we should avoid. Macadamia nuts, some people don't know, can cause neurologic issues. So people that are traveling and come back with macadamia nuts, those are bad things. Poinsettias have a bad reputation, and they're not as bad as they really could be from a toxicity standpoint. If your dog gets into a whole bunch of poinsettias, it's going to cause some mild digestive signs. They may vomit a little bit, they may not want to eat, but it's not something you need to rush off to the emergency clinic for from that standpoint of things. From the cat standpoint, I never want to forget about the cats. Lilies. Lilies are super toxic to cats. It can cause kidney problems. So if you get a bouquet of flowers and you have a cat in the house, take those lilies out immediately.
Like any kind of lily?
Any kind of lily.
Because there's a lot. And
There's a
what
lot.
about the peace lily plant?
Yep.
All of that, okay.
So peace lilies, peace lilies not quite as much. It's more kind
The
of the
lily
Asiatic
flowers.
lilies, that sort of thing. It's the pollen, it's the water, any of that, they can end up being toxic from that end of it. So,
Let me ask you about gifts for dogs this time of year. A lot of people, like my mom sends Lloyd a bag of stuff. What kind of gifts, bones, those types of things do we want to stay away from?
Yeah, so bones are always a complicated topic because you really have to know your dog and what they end up doing from a chewing standpoint of things. So natural bones, bones that are going to kind of break, that are going to get shards, those sort of things, pork bones, cooked bones, those sort of things we absolutely want to avoid. Rawhides are always a topic that some dogs are really aggressive chewers, and if you give your dog a rawhide and they chew it right away and swallow it down, we're going to choke on it or have digestive issues. You want to avoid that as well. If your dog's going to destroy something like a rope toy, where then they're going to consume a whole bunch of the rope pieces and have digestive issues, you want to avoid that too. If you have a stuffed toy, where again, it's going to fall apart immediately and they're going to consume all that parts of it, you need to avoid that piece of it. So if you have a real hard toy where you can't put your thumbnail into it and your dog's an aggressive chewer, you can end up breaking teeth with it. So,
Like an antler?
yes, exactly. So if you can't hit your knee with the toy or hit yourself in the head with it, you want to avoid your dog chewing on it as well.
no.
So I'm kind of
And
telling
that's
you there's
fun.
not...
You can hit your family with it the first to
We'll
test it.
bring in all the toys.
I know. So that kind of leads you. So things like Kong toys, things that are kind of hard rubber that you can put food inside, other things like that, the more interactive, that sort of thing. Those might be great toys to end up looking at for a lot of dogs.
Dr. Matt, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good
Good
stuff
advice.
as always. If you have questions about your pet, make sure to consult your vet. We'll post contact information for Matt and the team at Village Animal Hospital in Minnetonka at minnesotalive.com.